49er minded.
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er minded. 49er minded.
Can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session. About a red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's all that back, all that crack, all that strip, fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story on. As long as the story aligns with a 49er mind.
49er minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er minded.
but a way of life. For sure.
49er minded.
Way of life.
49er minded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my special guest, John V. How's it going, bro? How you doing?
What's up, family? Good to be here.
Doing great. Hey, it's a W, so I'm not going to act like we lost the game. But there's plenty of to talk about in terms of what we possibly could have did to get better. But just let me say what's up to some people in the chat really quick. Been waiting patiently. I really appreciate you guys. We got Melissa. She was on my show not too long ago. Actually, yesterday she was on my channel. So thank you for watching. And Melissa, we always appreciate you.
Good to see you, fam.
49er dude, the guy who did my theme music. He was the rapper on that theme track. Just bang bang. Look who's in the building. Niner gang. So Dick Nasty's here. We got Raphael 562 says what's up, Bashar, everyone. Appreciate you, bro. David Sousa, who's 49ers playlist on Instagram. Great dude. And John Lynch is here. John Lynch.
What's up, John Lynch?
So how you feel, man? How's your day?
It was good, man. It was good. Eventful weekend, bro. Just baptized my my baby nephew, man, on Saturday.
Congratulations.
It's just good, man. Appreciate that.
You guys had a nice big Greek party, I'm assuming, or
big Greek baptism, man. I'm Godfather, so we had a blast, man. It was a good time.
I would have totally crashed if I was in the area.
You should have.
Probably a lot of good
Feeling
food
good,
there
bro.
too, huh?
Yes. It was everything was great, bro. I cannot complain. It was awesome.
Somebody said, this guy David said he's working on some edits, but he'll be listening. Hey, as long as you're listening and watching, whatever it takes. So we're coming off the loss of Mexico. No, sorry, we're coming off the win in Mexico. Jimmy G's throwing 4 touchdowns. Offense is clicking. We got, Elijah Mitchell in the mix. We got, CMC, Kittle's getting 2 big touchdowns. Ayuk's getting touchdowns. It's just like, wow, the family's back. The family's back in business. And, we're expecting a whole lot more of it against the Saints, today pretty much, but we didn't really get it.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird, right? Today was a little bit. So you go from 4 touchdowns, a little over 220 yards in the air, to a very slow, sluggish. It lacked that creativity that I always ask you. I always ask you if you notice the creativity's missing. And I actually have a concern about how we see this creativity, when we see it and then when we don't, right? So if you notice the pattern, we always introduce something creative. We always utilize our weapons more so in division rival matchups within the division than we do outside of the division, right? So versus the Chargers, you didn't see anything crazy. Versus Atlanta, you didn't see anything crazy. And again, now when you play the Saints, we could not establish the run game. We got banged up. There's just no creativity in today's matchup. Just none. Nothing. It's a very dry, stagnant offense. And you are not putting that array of weaponry on display. You're just not putting out there tape, film on anything that might implicate you later moving down the stretch, whether it be another division game, whether it be a playoff game. So I think I'm catching on to Kyle's game planning. I really think that we play our rivals a lot. We do have a different game plan versus our rivals within the division than we do outside. So it'll be interesting to see now how we bounce back from our dings and our bruises today. But it was not an exciting win by any means. It actually pissed me the fuck off, to be honest.
I was pretty
Um,
pissed during the game myself. I just each and every time it seemed like we had an opportunity to get a touchdown, to get those 6 points on the board. We would just mess it up some way somehow, and it was a very very sloppy game too. I mean, I don't know if the refs were flag happy, but we get a play here, we get a play there, boom, it goes back, it goes back, it goes back. It's just like those are total drive killers. It sucks. And again, Jimmy was back to that form that he has where it's like he's got time to throw, and he's just waiting and waiting, holding on to the ball. And these are only short yardage situation type passes, especially in the red zone. It's like, dude, this isn't a situation where you sit there and hold on to the ball for 3 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. There's got to be somebody open quick. We got Christian McCaffrey out there. We got Kittle. We got Ayuk. We got Debo. Sometimes we got Jennings out there, and it just seems like we're going back to the same Jimmy, and it's not fun. I mean, it really isn't. So Jimmy, for example, I believe the first half we had like 28 pass attempts, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong if it was the first half, but overall, in general, Jimmy G had 37 pass attempts. He completed 26. That's not a bad percentage, so to speak. But if you're completing 26 passes and you're only getting 222 yards, it's not that spectacular, in my opinion.
I want to see Jimmy throw for no more than 27, 28 passes. Anything over that, it is like it's never been good. It's always anything over 27, 28 is too many. And I would imagine that at least a dozen of those are designed, right? So I don't know, bro. I just think that, we have to just take a step back. All the era of the heretics, like everybody is just, oh yeah, Jimmy was incredible. The Arizona game, Jimmy plays Arizona well, but now we got to chill. We got to punch the brakes, bro, because Jimmy is going to be Jimmy no matter how you look at it. Game ball, Raf, I'd say probably, if not Jawan Jennings on the offense, I would give it to Fred Warner on the defense, no doubt.
Yeah, that was Raphael 562 asked who gets a game ball. I'd say Hufanga. He got that phone. He punched out that ball loose right at the goal line when Alvin Kamara got the ball. Yeah, so that was an excellent play. When did that happen? That was early in the fourth quarter, actually. It was second and goal. Threw it to Kamara and punches the ball loose. And actually, shout out to Greenlaw first, because Greenlaw actually held up Kamara, and then Hufanga came in there. Like you guys said on the show, he came in there like a wrecking ball. And really quick, this is, if you guys don't know who John V is, he's from the Locker Room Rant. I made a wrecking ball reference because on the Locker Room Rant show, they always play that song as a joke. But definitely check out his YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description box. But I mean, obviously everybody loves Hufanga. I can't think of a person who's not a big fan of him. And I was pumping the guy up way back when we drafted him, because I heard a lot about him from people who were big USC guys, just hyping him up. So I kind of jumped on the bandwagon right around that time. So love what I see from the guy. And, the whole Troy Polamalu thing, and people didn't like that initially, but hey, it's not just us that were initially saying that he might be able to be that guy. Announcers week in and week out will flash Polamalu clips side by side with Hufanga, and it's a lot of fun, man. The guy's a lot of fun. Like, early in the game, I know he whiffed on a tackle where he just shot straight through, boom, and usually he gets that tackle, and he whiffed on it, but another guy stopped him. But in general, Hufanga is just a ball of fire when he's out there. I love it.
I know exactly what play you're talking about, and it might have happened twice this season. It actually might have happened in the Arizona game where he got through, he timed it just right. He got through and he missed the back. And it's okay. It's okay, bro. Like, you're going to get that, and you're going to take the league by surprise, man. I cannot wait, bro. I love the comparison. I think that if that's actually someone that you train with, that is a mentor of yours, the comparison's totally fair. And I think we should be free to use it because it's not like we're like, oh, hey, remember that guy Palomalu? Hufanga reminds me of him. Like, they are friends. They have worked together. I think it's a completely fair comparison.
Yeah, I mean,
and if he wants to mold his game after him, so be it, bro.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like those comparisons early on, but again, I think I'm pretty sure Hufanga admires Troy Polamalu because they've been buddy since his college days and working together. So I'm sure he's been trying to reach that goal of his level of play. And why not? Why not try to remember when we drafted AJ Jenkins and Jerry Rice was like, hey man, if you want to run the hill with me, I'm here, man. Call me, blah 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 blah. And AJ Jenkins never followed his lead. I'd totally rather have a young guy follow the lead of a great fucking player, Hall of Famer, whoever it may be, and try to be. Why not try to be that guy? Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always going to be your own individual self at the end of the day. But it is what it is. Let me say what's up to some people that got here a little later. I know if I missed your comments, I do apologize. It's just that they've been piping up. They've been piping high. They've been coming in really faster than I normally expected. So just bear with me here really, really quick. I do got to say what's up to I don't know if this guy's a Cowboy fan. I guess so. I'm not sure, but Cowboy Angel. I think you may know him from the Locker Room Rant. This is John V.
What's up, Cowboy? What's up, family?
We got who else is here? Who else is in the mix? We got David McNew. What's new? David McNew ain't put pressure on Jimmy G, and he didn't crumble, didn't thrive either. Yeah, I mean, we only gave up one sack. And actually, there was an interception thrown by Jimmy G, but then again, it was called back. So we kind of lucked out on that one. When that happened, I definitely cringed though. I was like, oh boy, another Jimmy INT. That's not good. But in general, Jimmy G's been pretty good at protecting the football this year. I can't knock on him and say he's been throwing picks or turning the ball over. He did have that element to his game though that pissed me off a lot this game. And it brought me back to the Jimmy that I cannot stand and the Jimmy that I have zero faith in when it comes to playoff time or come playing playoff caliber teams in the regular season. And that's that scaredy cat factor that he has. I have no other way of explaining it. It's just he panics for no reason sometimes. And then and I hate to bring this up again because it's like a broken record. And I don't want to sound like that guy who whines and complains and keeps bringing up the same old bullshit over again. But you keep bringing us the fucking evidence, Jimmy. That's the fucking problem.
Yep.
People are so concerned about Trey Lance stepping in and being the quarterback and saying he can't make these throws for our fucking offense and he can't make the West Coast offense short passing game and he has no short passing game. He's got no touch on his short passing game. Well, what the fuck product are we getting right now with Jimmy on his fucking short passes, dude? It's that same old bullshit where shit's high, behind, never in fucking stride, and the guys are about to get killed or he stares fuckers down and then throws it hella late like if we're going to move on to Trey Lance, who can actually give you huge, gigantic, dynamic, big, deep plays, I don't think his short passing game is going to be a big, major fall from what Jimmy's giving us right now because Jimmy's short passing game does not fucking impress me. I'm sorry.
No, and
to the kids watching at home, I'm sorry I dropped some F-bombs. All this comes straight from the heart. That's my passion, and I hate to say it, but I don't apologize sometimes when I get like that.
The only thing that I've noticed is that Jimmy is making reads through his progressions. That I cannot take from him. I've noticed it. I've seen it. He's actually changed his game in a sense. But today they took away the run. They forced Jimmy to throw the ball. And it was ugly. This was a very ugly offensive performance, man. I think I read, and they may have retweeted it, that there was like 11 yards of offense in the second half to start the second half. I think we only had it was something ugly, bro. And I was disgusted. What the hell is going on here, bro? McCaffrey couldn't get going. I think they held him under 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, 11 carries for 32 yards. Yep.
Ugly. That is not a power back. I think we talked about it a little bit on Mariah's show that he's more of a finesse player, more of a finesse runner, so to speak. Once Elijah Mitchell got banged up, we saw a flash of Jordan Mason, and that was the end of it. Like I'm so ready to see more of Mason it's McCaffrey's going to be utilized he's got to be used differently. To try to put him in a role to be a power back is not going to happen. It's just a false expectation.
He's never been a power back. Yeah.
Never. And to try to use him the way that we use Mitchell is just, I don't know. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And a liability to an injury.
For the record, Mitchell had 7 carries for 35 yards. His longest run was 12. McCaffrey's longest run was 9. And for those Jordan Mason fans out there, we all know how much you guys love Jordan Mason. He had 5 carries for 25 yards. His longest run was 9. So. You know what? The Saints defense this season, they're ranked as a pretty crappy run defense. Honestly, I was expecting a whole lot more on the ground, and that really disappointed me. So I don't know, man. I don't know if we could bounce back from this and get our running game. We should have a great run game. I don't know what happened today. It was pretty sad. I think you're muted, bro.
No, my dog.
Oh, that's your dog. You want something on the show.
She's getting wild.
What's his name? Kim, what's up, bro? He says, imagine if this team had a quarterback like Joe Burrow. That'd be nice. Or at least a healthy Trey. We were supposed to have. It would have been nice to see what Trey really, really could have done. I wasn't expecting him to be an all-pro right off the bat, of course. Now, that'd be ridiculously stupid for anybody to think that. But, geez, Joe Burrow in this offense. I mean, then the Super Bowl talk gets real. You know, that's what kills me with this season. I just keep hearing all this Super Bowl crap, especially, and I'm mainly hearing it from the people who speak so highly of Jimmy. And I love Steve Young, great guy. I've never ever complained about him as an analyst. I can't think if I've ever done that. I don't recall ever finding anything he said that was ridiculously stupid. But I'm sorry, I don't know where he said it, but I saw it tweeted everywhere. It was all over the place, and it was basically saying like, wow, if Jimmy continues to play like this, give him a 10-year contract. I'm like, whoa, really? Let's pump the brakes here, guys.
I lost it, bro. I saw that. Like this is what's happened. Like they're backpedaling so much on what they've said. It's like, bro, you were saying that Trey Lance deserved to be the starting quarterback and that there should have been no distraction from Jimmy. Now suddenly you want Jimmy here for 10 years, for the next 10 years. You got to stop. Like it's the media is so bad, dude. It's why I don't pay attention and why I basically involve myself in as much podcasters as I possibly can. Enjoy all of you guys, take it all in. Because when I start watching like the mainstream media and I start to listen to KMBR and all this other shit, like I can't. I like you were going on and on and on about Trey Lance for so long and how this thing with Jimmy was just the wrong way to go about it. Now, Trey is healthy or getting healthier, right? And he has to hear this shit. Like, do you put at all any concern in anything that comes out of your mouth, Steve? Honestly. Come on.
I don't think Trey really, really cares, though. I mean, I totally get where your concern is for him, but I'm just thinking he's just so mentally strong that it's just like he can just brush it off or whatever.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, we all hope so. I mean, he'd be. I wouldn't want him as our guy if he were to, fall for that and let it bring him down or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just like, how many guys do you just when you think you've got someone in your corner, so to speak, right? Someone who's got such high praise for you, the next thing that comes out of their lips is, why not keep Jimmy here for 10 more years? Smack your lips off your face if you say it in front of me. Are you kidding me? That got me so worked up, Bash. When I read that, I thought it was like a parody. I thought it was a joke. And I mean that. I dug for it and I found it and it was like, it's real. And I still want to smack your lips off for it.
And usually Steve Young's pretty consistent. Usually if he says something 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago and you go back, it's pretty consistent to what he's saying now. So who knows? I mean, I'm not going to trip too much off of it unless it becomes an issue, but whatever. I mean, we were talking about Elijah Mitchell earlier. I forgot to mention that he did suffer an MCL sprain. I'm not sure how long those take in terms of recovery time, but hopefully it's not serious. The report I read didn't make it sound like it was serious. I know Spencer Burford at one point had some type of knee injury. Oh, sorry, ankle injury, and he was out for the game. Hopefully it's just a minor ankle injury. So not sure if anybody else got injured, if I'm leaving anybody else out. It looked like Christian McCaffrey was possibly banged up. Jimmy G got hurt at one point. He got I forgot who the guy was, what his name was, but the dude that dove at him, it looked pretty cheap actually for him to dive at Jimmy's ankle and just grab it in that particular way. And, I'm surprised Jimmy G just finished the game. So hats off to Jimmy for that. And then that definitely exhibited some toughness. I mean, no quarterback deserves to get a certain cheap shot by a D lineman like that. And I've seen other D linemen do in the past, and it's pretty sad that we still see that.
There was a few, though. There were at least 2 more flags missed. Jim got cracked a few times. The refs were hot trash in this game. They were terrible. Terrible. That one with the leg, that one was that was at least thank God they made up for that one. You know what I mean? But there was a couple of other ones where I was like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, home field advantage in Levi's has been like such a disappointment for me. Like I don't know what it is, but like I feel so much more comfortable playing elsewhere than I do at Levi's. And that's tough to say as a 49er fan. But for whatever reason, like Levi's Stadium does not bring me that home field advantage, that closeness, right?
Hey, if the dog wants to be on the show, you can bring him on, man.
Oh my God, she's massive, bro. She's too big. She's too big to fit in my lap. She's such a big dog.
Let me say what's up to Small Song. He's here. What's up, bro? Good to have you. Who am I missing? I know I missed somebody earlier. Thought I missed. Who was? Oh, somebody new actually. Dominate 49ers says, "Welcome to the channel." Says O-line was struggling a bit. Yeah, here and there they did have their moments where they struggled. Everybody seems to rag on McGlinchey a lot. I have. He's kind of underperformed a whole lot this year, but it's just the O-line. It's for what they are, the O-line is actually pretty good in my opinion. Meaning that going into the season, it was just question marks across the board for the offensive line. You have your mainstay Trent Williams, Silverback, arguably the best offensive lineman in the league, your best left tackle in the league. That's up for debate. But aside from that, we had no idea who the hell was gonna freaking be on our O-line, who the hell was gonna perform properly, or Brendel, who's a journeyman, Aaron Banks, who we didn't even freaking see play last year. We just played like special teams a couple times, and we didn't know what Burford was made of. We didn't know if he was going to start. Obviously they had the whole McGlinchey thing coming off an injury, and for the complaints that there are about the O-line here and there, it could have been a whole lot worse. If you look up the stats, go ahead and look it up. The 49ers are actually they give up the 6th least sacks in the NFL, so they're basically top 6 in the NFL for giving up the least sacks. So with all that said, you can't really complain too much about the O-line, considering what our expectations were of them. And they are, in my opinion, they are still doing better than what people thought.
I don't think there's any I'm not the offensive line there was, with the exception of a few. I don't know. I think this was just one of the better defenses, Bash, that we've seen. Honestly, I think collectively, I think the Saints defense they're a great defense. Outside of Kansas City's defense, I don't think we've seen anybody match up. I think that the Saints defense was a good test for this offense, and it gives you a really good idea. Like, if Lattimore were out here, could have been a lot different. But I think this defense gives us an idea of what we need to prepare for. And it kind of gives us a little bit of it gives us a little body of work, bro. I think there's a lot that this team needs to focus on.
Yeah. Kim brought up something. He said most of the runs have been going to the left side of the O-line. McGlinchey's been a pylon at best. I noticed early on in the game they tried to do some run on McGlinchey's side, and it just was not successful at all. And I was messaging my friends, basically saying like, what happened to McGlinchey's elite run blocking? And that was like the one thing about his game that we could totally count on. And I don't know what it is. He's really taken a step backwards. He used to be the guy that would get picked on a lot, but I used to always at least stick up for him and say, hey, well, at least our running game is pretty badass when he's in the lineup, and we can run on his side and know that we're going to get yards, but we don't even get that element into the offense anymore with him in the mix. So I'm under the assumption they'll probably move on from next year. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey,
Yeah, you're okay. So let me read
Oh my
what
God.
Swan Song's saying here. He says defense. The defense needs to stop teams from getting third and short. And he says 49ers are worse in the league, like ranked 32nd. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I have noticed that too. And we do have the number one running defense in the NFL. We're number one in a lot of categories on defense, but we do give up certain things in certain situations. In as far as our certain situations, our defense isn't elite in those situations. I get that, but we're like the classic bend but not break defense. I think we're definitely pretty awesome at that. And how many times do we have teams like approaching the red zone? We think that the team's gonna. And I was texting my friends at some point in time during the game, like, watch. The Saints are going to get a field goal on this drive, or watch, they probably get a touchdown on this drive. And lo and behold, we make some big play, or we force them to punt to us. So, and I did like what I saw from the special teams in general today. I don't know about you.
They're not going to change. The special teams is not going to. I don't think we're going to see them improve. But I did hear a stat today where we were on third and short. We are dead last in the league. We're the worst in the league on third and short. But then after the game, I saw stats that we are first in Izzy, somebody.
I have it on my
chat.
Twitter. I'll share it on my.
You saw that? That was impressive.
I'll share it on here.
That was impressive. So that kind of like makes me less concerned about how we defend on third and short. I'm not really worried about it. I think we can fix that up as soon as we get, Armstead back in the game at some point.
All right. So I do have that tweet up. I'm going to read through it really quick. And this is from NFL on CBS. I shared the tweet earlier. So we're number one in giving up the least points. We get, so yards as well. Number one, rushing yards per game, yards per rush, first downs per game, and passing touchdowns per game. So we're number one in a lot of categories on defense that do matter. So, I mean, I can't make any really solid complaints about the defense. I really can't. And this is all pretty nice because we are without Emmanuel Mosley, who was having a really nice season. And I know Ward at times, Mooney Ward, at times he looks like a Pro Bowl level cornerback. At times he kind of slips up. We saw it happen in the Chiefs game. Some may make the argument that, hey, he was a little injured and kind of coming back early in that game. But in general, though, despite certain flaws that people may see, we have a great way of covering up those flaws in other areas defensively. And John Lynch says this. He says, John Lynch. He says, only two defensive stats that matter are we are first in points per game allowed. That's obviously the most important one. And first in yards allowed. Nothing else matters. That's a great quote from John Lynch.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. And Melissa brings up Ty McGill. We brought him up from the practice squad onto the roster, and we released Kamoko Toure, who some people may have been disappointed about that. I liked the Toure signing. I liked what he brought in the preseason, but again, we're not an edge needy team at the same time, and we need more help up the middle on the D-line.
Toure might make his way back to the practice squad if nobody picks him up. That being said, I agree with John Lynch. And speaking of John Lynch, they showed John Lynch today, and he looked unhappy. It was 13-0. We were 13, and it was 13-0 with maybe like 7-8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It might have even been late in the third quarter. I can't remember, but he looked pissed. He did not look happy at all. And I was a little concerned at the time because I'm like, what if they know something about Mitchell's knee that we don't know yet? Or what if something happened to Burford's ankle that we don't know about yet? So I just, a lot of things were going through my mind. And then I'm just thinking to myself, what if John Lynch is just disgusted with what this offense has put up, coming off that Mexico trip. And then this is what you put together for an offensive game plan. And I was just like, is there a chance that like today's game plan was just to get through this game, the defense was obvious. It was obviously going to be a defensive battle, because Olave worried me a lot coming into this. And when Olave begged and pleaded for that flag in the end zone, oh my God. Oh, Bash. Oh, I was pissed. Oh,
it seemed like every time the Saints receivers were begging and pleading, it was working for them.
Yeah, they were getting it. And it pissed me off so bad.
It pissed me off too. I wanted to mention this earlier because I didn't mention it. In the first half, I want to give major props. I'll give props to Jimmy for throwing the ball in the area, but the ball was fucking tipped by Tyrann Mathieu. Let's not make any mistake about it. But Jauan Jennings made an excellent recovery on the play. And caught it. And when it went up in the air, I was like, "Oh, dude, please try to catch this. Please don't mess this up." And I ended up catching it. I was like, "Wow, that was pretty nice." So just to give you the rundown on what the receivers did really, really quick. Brandon Ayuk had 5 catches for 65 yards. His longest was 27 yards. He had 8 targets. When he had that 27-yarder, I got really excited because actually going into the game, the Saints do a really bad job of stopping wide receivers. They have like 120 passer rating whenever people threw to the opposing teams threw to their wide receivers. So I was hoping one of our receivers would have a big day today, but that did not happen. So Jennings, 6 catches for 49 yards. Deebo Samuel, 3 catches for 43. Kittle, the Saints do actually do a pretty good job of stopping tight ends. So they've been doing that all year. Kittle, 3 catches, 26 yards. So not that spectacular. And McLeod had one nice one for 12 yards. And that's about it.
All in all, dude, it was not impressive. It's hard to sit here and I'm kind of disappointed today, Bash. Kind of disappointed. I expected, every other play, Debo's out with this hamstring acting up.
He's always had hamstrings issues with us.
Yeah, but this one's been lingering. And they have a habit they force a habit. They force guys to come back from injuries before they're truly right. And then you have this, and you potentially risk this guy to hurt the hamstring, worse. So it's like, at what point do we say, and the thing about a hamstring is you got to keep moving. You really do. You got to keep moving because the moment you stop, that's when all hell breaks loose, right? So you got to keep moving. But it just looked like Debo was struggling to get through it today, man. And it's concerning. It's concerning that we took some of the injuries that we did. I know they're probably just some dings and bumps and bruises, but, we need these guys as healthy as possible versus Seattle, So.
Hey, I hate the Raiders. I grew up hating the Raiders. They're the very first sports team I grew up hating. But congratulations to the Raiders. We do appreciate what you guys did today in Seattle. Freaking Josh Jacobs had 300 yards rushing. He had that crazy 86-yard run in overtime. And hey, we're at top of the division, so we're sitting pretty at the top of the division. We can complain about how ugly some of our wins may look, but hey, as long as we're ahead of Seattle, I can't complain too much. We are playing the Miami Dolphins this upcoming week though. And
that's it. I'm sorry. The Dolphins. That's
there you go. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about Mostert blabbing to the media about whatever. A lot of certain people were talking about it. I don't know if you want to get into that really quick. First, really, really quick though. John Lynch, you've been defending Jimmy a lot in the chat. Are you just pretending to be somebody you're not? I don't know if this is the same John Lynch that I know. He said, "Come on now, that wasn't a bad pass. Matthew had to jump so high." Yeah, Matthew jumped to get it. I get you. I mean, but again, it was tipped. So I mean, Jennings been an amazing play on the ball. That's all. And
I guess he's right. It could have been way short. Could have been an easy pick. It was a throw. It was a good throw. I expected Honey Badger to make a play today. I expected to see a little bit more out of him than we did. Luckily, Jauan Jennings was just awesome. His hands today that was an amazing touchdown. And he kind of bailed the Kittle touchdown. That was taken away from us. I'm happy, man. When Kittle had that, what was that? What was the call? Was it a phantom face mask? What were they calling on him? What was it?
Oh no, he didn't face mask. He held the guy's arm. You could see him.
You could see him
pretty legitimately. He grabbed his arm pretty hard on that play. Yeah,
man. as far as Mostert, like Mostert hit my nerves once and for all. He pissed me off when he was utilizing Coleman's money. Remember when he was talking up Coleman's pay to leverage his own pay? Remember he was talking about.
I remember he was making a big stink about his holdout, but it was a blur to me. But I don't remember
Well, he wanted
him going
traded.
that far.
He wanted traded because Tevin Coleman was making X amount of money, and he put that number out there. You know what I mean? He put that money out there to leverage his own pockets, and that fucking pissed me off. It was just a dirt move. You don't do it. I don't like that. I lost a ton of respect for him when he did it. I really did. It pissed me off.
I get it. You're an NFL player, and they always say, "Oh, well, NFL players have short careers, and their goal is to try to get as much money as possible, try to get that second contract or third contract or whatever." But at the end of the day, there's a certain level of professionalism that is expected as well. At the same note, I mean, he said some crap to the media about how, the 49ers didn't do this properly with me, and because of them, I didn't sign back with them, and he was just complaining all about how they supposedly wanted him back after he was injured 8 weeks later, and they got mad at him for having season-ending surgery. But I mean, at the end of the day, like Mostert was a guy who was a gypsy, bouncing around from team to team for God knows how long, for God knows how many years. And he can hate on the 49ers all he wants, but Shanahan gave him his time to shine in the NFC Championship game. Drew up a million ways to run the ball, and boom, this guy was a freaking MVP of the game pretty much when we went to the Super Bowl. And because of that, he got a new contract, made a lot of money, and hey, things didn't work out in terms of with his injuries, and it would have been nice. We'd have loved to have had him healthy and loved to have him stick around, but it wasn't the case. But he said something to the point about how we got a quarterback now that can throw the ball or something like that. It was kind of, which I mean, sure, Tua can definitely throw the deep ball a lot nicer than Jimmy can. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all remember when Mostert was on the team and Jeff Wilson Jr. was on the team, and the way they hype up Jimmy to the media. It was just kind of funny how Mostert kind of took a slide at Jimmy to the media.
I'll tell you what. Mostert was complaining about the very one thing that San Francisco typically does with their injured stars. You know what I mean? They want them back sooner than necessary, or sooner than they should come back. And essentially they piss players off. So what Mostert's saying is not entirely wrong, and I don't fault him for it. But don't go out there parading Tua around like he's something special, because Jimmy and Tua are essentially very much in the same. They're very much in the same. They're both limited, so to speak. It's the scheme. If McDaniel wasn't over there, Tua's not looking like this. He's just not. So I don't want to hear anybody sit here and say that how Mostert's picking him up. And what's Jeff Wilson got to say bad about this squad? What is Jeff Wilson really saying over there? Because I see his name affiliated with Mostert when it came to the criticism, but I couldn't really find anything that Jeffrey Wilson said.
I'm not sure if Wilson said anything, to be honest with you. I don't want to put words in his mouth. And what Mostert said, I just read it briefly. I didn't sit there and have it memorized.
No, you were on. You hit it head on. It was essentially that he did what was right for him. He just made an example that San Francisco wanted to bring him back sooner than he was ready, and he just did. He made a decision that was best for him, and that was it. And that they had no interest in bringing him back.
Oh yeah, I got you. And Tua, he's not bad. I mean, I never was that high on him in terms of when he was drafted, in terms of me thinking about his potential. But then again, I didn't think the guy sucked either. But he's looking a lot better now. I mean, they have incredible weapons. I mean, we have pretty nice weapons too. But in terms of what, it just, maybe for the fact that they have a deep ball aspect of their game, it just looks a lot nicer over there. So it will, again, but this team did come from practicing in Denver, in the high altitude in Denver. It was snowing at times. I'm not sure if it was snowing the whole time when they were practicing in Denver. It did snow. Then they went to the crazy altitude of Mexico, which is even worse than Denver. Came back, so maybe that tired them out. Who knows? maybe that tired them out. Maybe we see more of what the 49ers should be against Miami. And it'll be beautiful if that great defense that we have just stops. They just stop Miami in their tracks. I'm tired of everybody jumping on this Miami Dolphins bandwagon and acting like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I would just love it if we just stop their whole offense in their tracks and our offense gets back on track. That would totally be a nice that'd just be really, really nice. And it would be finally something that we've done this year, arguably against a good team. I mean, I just haven't seen our team currently do anything against teams that were regarded as good teams. And then that's why I tell people to pump the brakes on the whole, well, this is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl team. Hold up. Wait till we beat some good teams first, and then we can get into the Super Bowl conversation or whatever. But we are ahead in our division. We do have the number one defense, and all those things are great. Those things are wonderful, beautiful. I just want to see the offense put it together consistently, because in this day and age, we're not in the Trent Dilfer era anymore. This isn't the Baltimore Ravens. Even as good as this defense is, this isn't the Baltimore Ravens defense. This isn't the Chicago Bears defense where you can roll out there with your poppycock, whatever the fuck quarterback that you have out there, and it doesn't matter. This day and age, the quarterback matters. I don't care. Let me see what's up to people who are here. Who we got here? I missed a few people. We got Dynamite Dave says 49er Minded is my favorite show. Y'all speak the truth. Hey, I don't know if I'm your favorite show, but if you're trying to butter me, I try to make you feel special, but it's cool. I appreciate you guys for being here. We got a huge turnout in the chat. We did an unannounced show as usual. Perk Dog is here. What's up, Perk Dog? Says, yeah, rep that shit. Who else is here?
Up, Perk?
Yeah, Perk's pretty badass. And Dominate 49er says, I hope Armstead is back. If we can have Armstead back against the Dolphins, that would be nice. I would say Kinlaw, but I'm at the point where Kinlaw is pretty much out for the season. All jokes aside, I just don't see it happening. But in general, the guys in the D line in general are stepping up. And Dynamite Dave says right here, he says Ryans has a good plan, or he better have a good plan, or we're getting burned, man. Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I do like D'Amico Ryans a lot. This is going to be a tough test for him. This is going to be a really tough. And the same way that Kansas City Chiefs game was a tough test for D'Amico Ryans, and we didn't come out on top. Obviously, this game could definitely, not saying that Tua is Mahomes or whatever, but just the firepower of that offense is something that we should take very seriously.
But it would figure, right? It would figure we get banged up before we play Kansas City, and then we get banged up before we're going to play Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we're not going to have Mitchell for this Dolphins game. And that in itself, oh my God, bro, that's tough. That's tough, because now you have no choice but to use TDP and Jordan Mason, right? You have no choice. You have to. But then they're gonna bring up Coleman, right? He's still on the practice squad. Am I mistaken? Is he still a 49er?
I think he still is on the practice squad.
All right. So he's coming back up, right? And then we saw a little bit of Jordan Mason, but I don't know, Bash. The run game is essential against Miami. We absolutely have to be able to establish the run. Period. I mean, look at it this way. This offense is predicated off the run. How often have you heard that shit? We've said that ad nauseum for the entire time that Kyle's been here. If we can't establish the run, then it does not open up the passing game whatsoever. Hence today, right? Today was a perfect example of not being able to establish a dominant run game and for it to open up the pass. So if we can't establish the fucking run game, we cannot establish the passing game. It's that simple, and it's going to be tough, bro. It's going to be tough.
And for the record, the Dolphins are like 14th. For the record, the Dolphins are like 14th in the league against stopping the run. So they're not really known to stop the run. But then again, the Saints weren't really known to stop the run either. And here we came out flat. We got Brandon Ferreño from Forever Faithful Podcast. Check out his YouTube channel. Good dude. Great dude. We got this guy loves talking about O-line. He's been typing up O-line in my chat ever since he's joined. I don't know who he is, but His name is the CR1TY. Welcome to the channel. Sure, I don't know. He just likes typing O-line. So, hey, more power to you, bro. What did Swan Song said? He said the 49ers had 10 yards rushing well into the second quarter. Yeah, it needs to be better. It's been better for the most part of the season. I'm not going to say it's a major concern of the team, but we can't come out flat either. I'm curious to see what TDP can bring to the mix. Tyrion Davis Price, I believe that's how you say his name. We finally got to see a bit more of Jordan Mason. Sounds like Coleman's probably going to be back for this upcoming game because it sounds like we're probably going to set out Mitchell, which sucks because we just got Mitchell back.
But he says he's gone. Is he really gone?
She says he's gone for the season?
No, she just Tevin Coleman gone.
Which I don't know. I didn't see anything. I mean, I checked a little bit of Twitter, but
I don't know.
What I saw was MCL sprain was what I saw. Again, I'm not an expert at those type of injuries, so I can't really tell you how long the recovery time normally takes.
I mean, the MCL sprain, I would say, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. I mean, we're not going to see Elijah Mitchell for the Dolphins. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay. And just to answer your question, O-line needs work. We did face some pretty good pass rushers today. Demario Davis is a really good blitzer. The Saints got 3 guys with at least 5 or 6 sacks. So, Marcus Davenport. There's another guy whose name skips my mind, defensive end on the Saints, and we only gave up 1 sack. So it's not like Jimmy got sacked like 5 times today or anything like that. I mentioned it earlier. We're top 6 in the league in terms of giving up the least sacks. Sure, we may give up pressures from time to time, but sometimes I think those pressures just come. I mentioned it earlier. Sometimes Jimmy, some people are saying that he's going through his reads, but sometimes I just think he takes a little too long to do that. Where at the end of the day, it results in the pressure, which may result into a bad throw or a mistake. So we just need to clean that up against Miami.
Yep, no doubt, bro.
All right, so
Melvin Gordon's out there. Melvin Gordon's out there with nobody. Problem is he can't hold on to the football. But would you rather have Tevin Coleman, hypothetically speaking, or would you rather have Melvin Gordon? If you could get him on the cheap, do you bring him here, or you just roll with Jordan Mason and TDP and McCaffrey?
Yeah, I doubt that we go the Melvin Gordon route. I'd be surprised if we do. Kyle likes Coleman. I mean, he's got some familiarity with him, obviously. He's familiar with our offense. And he didn't look too bad when he was in here, when we had him playing a couple of games. And he ran the outside zone fairly well on a few plays. Dynamite Day says, let's sign Frank Gore. Yeah, why not? Before we go, we got Perk Dog saying O-line wasn't that bad today. I have no complaints with them. Shannon needs to stop recycling the same run plays. Yeah, we could have been a bit more creative with the run game. There was a little too much of up the middle of the gut. I'd like to see a little more outside zone runs. That'd be nice. I think this team's really, really nice when they get that going. But if anybody else has any questions or if you have anything else that you want to touch on, John V, let me know, because looks like we pretty much covered everything, so far.
I think so, man. I mean, I'd like to know what the chat thinks about the run game. Are they concerned? Are they concerned moving forward right now? Even if we don't have Elijah Mitchell for 2-3 weeks, are you guys confident that TDP and Jordan Mason, from what very little we have seen from both running backs, are you guys confident moving forward with him? I'm a little concerned myself, bro. Because I really want to dominate this Dolphins team. Because if San Francisco can dominate this team, then then you can start talking about postseason, and the Buccaneers are totally beatable. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are totally beatable. I mean, looking at the rest of the schedule, this Dolphins team, you played the Dolphins, then you have the Buccaneers coming to San Francisco. You have the Seahawks after that, the Commanders coming to Levi's. We play the Raiders, and then we play the Cardinals. It's just like, I mean, if you can honestly beat Miami, then you should have no problem beating the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So John Lynch says the run game had 40 plus yards in the final drive when they knew it was coming. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Yeah, that was nice when they did when they were consistent with the run towards the end. And hopefully we see a whole lot more of that against the Dolphins, because we could definitely use that, and that'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see what TDP can do. Obviously we saw a little bit of Mason mentioned TDP earlier from LSU. I went back and watched a lot of his film from LSU, and that guy, he's a thumper, man. He's not a slow guy either. I mean, he can he could get on the outside too from time to time. So interesting to see if we can have some success with him, assuming that we use him much in the Dolphins game. And Lynch said that when they wanted to run, they did. Dynamite Dave says we ain't beating Miami. Yeah, and we got to be on our A game if we're going to beat Miami. And it's not gonna be a walk in the park. Not gonna be a cakewalk, so to speak. But yeah, looks like we're pretty much gonna wrap it up. I really, really appreciate everybody that came on in the chat again. Kind of an unannounced show, but from now on, just kind of expect me to do these post game shows. I kind of waited maybe an hour or two after the game's over again to do them. I might do them a little later. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, at 49ermind on Twitter, you see it right below my name on the screen. And you can add me on Twitter. You can add me on Instagram. Twitter is probably the most update thing that I have in terms of social media, where I let everybody know when I'm going live. Obviously, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification. Make sure to select all. When that bell turns black, you should be getting the notifications on your phone, on your YouTube app, or on your computer when I do go live. So just keep that in mind. Don't have any shows lined up this upcoming week, but definitely I'll have something in the works for like a preview type show. I'm not sure who the guest would be, but we'll figure that out. And I've had John V on numerous times. He's from the Locker Room Rant. Check out his YouTube channel. It's in the description box. And go ahead, John. Let them know where they can find you if you have any, or if you just have any last words really quick, and just let them know where they can find you about you.
Yeah. Izzy, I agree with Perk Dog. I think it's a tie. I think both were impressive equally. Lenore took a step back this game. Family,
he was getting beat a bit.
Yeah, he was. Fam, you can catch me at the Locker Room Rant. It's a sports show with two of my best friends. We chop it up. I'm a Niners fan. Tony's a Bills fan, and Nick is a Browns fan. We kind of go back and forth. We rant a lot. We argue. We disagree. And we just talk all sports. We talk the NBA. We talk baseball. We'll talk anything you guys want to talk. We talk the World Cup. So catch us over at the Locker Room Rant on Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Love to see you guys. And always keep supporting my guy here, Bash. He's like a brother from another mother, man. Good dude. I love coming on here with you, Bash. I apologize earlier with my dog. She was so ornery, man. She was just usually really chill. She's usually totally chill, but tonight
I didn't even know. Well, let's put it this way. Of all times I've seen you go live, either on your channel or come on with me or other people's channels, I've never even seen you have a dog in the mix.
Yeah, man. She's a big Rottweiler. She takes up a ton of space, man.
I was gonna say, but for those of you that see John V right now, this is John V at probably like 10%. When John V's on the Locker Room Rant, he's at like 100% full bore. He's yelling his ass off, cussing his ass off, and I'm just sitting in the chat room while I'm sitting on my computer or sitting on my phone, just laughing hysterically, dropping like laughing emojis the whole time, because I just think it's so funny and entertaining. Dynamite Dave, good question right here. He says, "You talk WWE." He's asking about your show. I haven't done it yet. I've been saying this. I have it in the works. I plan on doing a wrestling segment type show that focuses on more so on the nostalgia type of wrestling. We'd probably talk about like if you see on the Vice channel, they do those documentaries like The Dark Side of the Ring. We could probably talk about stuff like that, or stuff to deal with the 80s and 90s wrestlers. And to me, that's all entertaining. I didn't run the intro today, but usually I run my little Macho Man 49er minded intro where this Macho Man impersonator comes on. So I definitely have that as a piece of me. And Dynamite Dave, look for it in the works. If I do it, I'll let you know. I have you on my social media. Damian Lee, what's up? Welcome. Sure. We are closing out the show, but he says, "Kyle, please no more Tevin Coleman. He's not a fan." Oh, okay. And again, appreciate everybody. He said women's volleyball. No, we're not gonna be talking women's volleyball. He does talk a lot of sports on his channel, though. I'm gonna go through the other sports that you guys talk about. He said
Dynamite Dave. If there's ever any WWE talk, it's gonna be a segment with Bash. That's where you're gonna get all your WWE. Nick and Tony were big WWE fans back in the day. Listen, I was all into wrestling as a kid. probably about 12 years old when I realized that it was not real. In the moment that I found out that this was not real, I lost all interest, bro. I mean, I walked away. But that does not take away from how hard those guys train and what they put into it. That can never be taken away. I will never discredit them because they're excellent at what they do. Their craft is amazing. So just never say that wrestlers, the fighting is not entirely fake. They're just not doing what I thought they were doing. Like, I really thought they were jacking each other up, bro. Like, legit, just beating the shit out of each other. So once I found that out, man, I walked away from wrestling. But if anybody wanted to come into the chat and talk WWE, I would definitely let you guys know in advance. And Bash would take care of that segment. He would be my featured guest, and we would let him roll with it, bro. We would let him roll with it.
Wait. You mean it's not real? I thought it was real.
Oh,
wait. How could you? How I thought you're my brother from another mother. How could you do this?
Oh my God! I hate.
Come on now, come on, man.
That is fake shit.
We're ending the show on a bad note, guys. He just told me wrestling is not real. I don't know.
Imagine there's a kid out there.
I might have to close
now.
my whole channel now. I'm about to cry. I'm in. All right, we're getting silly here, guys. Niners won 13-0. Hey, great. Love the shutout. I just want to see more points on the board. I want to see domination. I want to see this team look like a real contender to win a Super Bowl. That's about it. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate John V as usual. Thank you guys for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded.
Later, family. Peace.
Let's go. Come on, 49er fans, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside.